Hello everybody, this is Wolfgang von Latman with chaliceofimmortality.com, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the last 2 weeks. I deactivated my Facebook for a whole 2 weeks. Now in the past month it's been deactivated for a total of 3 weeks. The first was just an experiment. I didn't tell anybody I was going to do it. I didn't really say anything about my no Facebook experiment until I had already gone through with at least 1 week. Because most people just say they're going to delete Facebook and they never do. And the purpose of this was just to see what kind of benefits I could possibly get and to better understand how Facebook is actually affecting my life and my brain, my happiness and my well-being. And in the first week I actually noticed a very strong kind of restoration of my dopamine pathways. There's plenty of scientific studies that actually have proven this, that Facebook and other forms of social media and pornography and artificial stimuli in general, television, tends to overstimulate the dopamine pathways in a way similar to methamphetamine or another drug can, and it pulls you back for more, and it keeps you there. So it makes the brain want to constantly come back to Facebook or whatever it is, and it makes you want to stay there and stay on Facebook for as long as possible. That's what happens in the brain with the dopamine pathways. And Facebook executives and former Facebook developers and CEOs have actually came out and have admitted that that was their intention. They purposely designed Facebook to addict people to come to Facebook as much as possible throughout the day and to keep them there for as long as possible per session. And the reasoning behind this is that they make a whole lot of money off of advertisements, okay? And anybody who pays attention to their actions and what they're doing may have noticed within 1 minute of scrolling through Facebook, you've seen multiple photos of people you don't even know. You've seen a picture of their baby. You might have seen a picture of a pregnant woman, a picture of somebody's wedding, a picture of somebody's car. You might have seen like a video of an innocent black boy getting beat up by a white police officer, or an innocent white boy getting beat up by a black police officer, whatever. You might see pictures from feminist protesting. You'll see like a dog getting brutally destroyed. You might see an article about Donald Trump. And in between all of this craziness, within 1 minute, you'll also see probably about 7 or 8 different advertisements for some crazy shit that you probably don't even care about. And by the way, these Facebook and other companies you sign up with probably sell your information to advertisers so that they can target advertisements based on your searching. So if you ever notice, if you're searching on Amazon for a fish oil pill or a vegan protein supplement, next time you get on the Facebook app, it's going to show you advertisements for vegan protein or fish oil pills. Wow, what a coincidence. Is it the law of attraction? No, it's Facebook and other corporations. They're selling they're tracking what you're searching, and they're using that to target advertising, which, in my opinion, is a good thing, because I'd rather see advertisements for things that I care about than things that I don't. But that's not the point. The point is that within 1 minute of scrolling through Facebook, your brain is literally exposed to multiple people that you don't even know, baby pictures, dogs being cut up as food, videos of protesting and Donald Trump and police brutality, and shit tons of advertisements. And that's just 1 minute of chaos on Facebook. 1 minute, you see all this nonsense, and you don't even remember. You don't even realize it. I guarantee you 99.9% of the things that you've probably actually seen on Facebook, you don't remember. And you may think that this is harmless, but it's not. Because number one, obviously if you don't remember, you never cared about it in the first place. But most people spend hours and hours on Facebook throughout the day. I'm not talking about at one time, but most people do spend hours at a time on Facebook. Other people spend, a couple minutes here and there, and maybe an hour or so when you get home from work or whatever. It stacks up and adds up over the day, okay? And this is sad. People are living their entire life on Facebook. They're wasting so much time. And so, so I quit Facebook for 1 week, and then I reactivated it momentarily, posted on it for like a day or two, and started to see like how frustrated, stressed, and just like cloudy-headed I started to feel again. And I was like, well, shit, maybe it's the Facebook. So I deactivated it again, and now as of today, actually as of tomorrow morning at like 5 a.m. or something like that, it's going to be a total of 2 weeks this time of having my Facebook deactivated. And I realized a lot of things. I realized, first of all, the biggest downside of Facebook is that we use it as an entertainment tool. The arguments, the stupid and ignorant opinions and things that you're exposed to on a regular basis. Most people think that they can just post their opinions and their criticisms on a Facebook status, and they, for some reason, think that nobody's going to criticize their statuses. They think that nobody has a right to comment on their statuses. They can just post whatever they want and no one's going to criticize it. No one has a right to criticize it. But that's fucking retarded logic. If you're posting something on a social network, why would you post on it if you didn't want other people to see it or comment on it, okay? The whole purpose of being on a social network is to, put your ideas and your thoughts and share your expressions of all kinds, pictures, videos, with the world, for the world to see and criticize. And if you don't want somebody to comment on something or criticize it, then you probably shouldn't be posting it up on a social network, not publicly at least. So that brings a lot of frustrations that people are, the vast majority of people are ignorant, they're closed-minded, and they are stupid. They lack reasoning, rational thought, and logic, and don't even look at the intentions behind their actions, the cause and effect, and, they don't understand why they get the results that they do. And it's just frustrating because with Facebook, you're constantly exposed to this. You're constantly seeing things that annoy the piss out of you. I would say, 25% of the things you see on Facebook are going to be things that you would actually care about or enjoy, and that's like the high number. So beyond that, people are always resharing terrorist videos and resharing police brutality and resharing political dogma and articles on Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or Russia and shit that they don't even know what's really going on about. They're just reposting what their friends posted, reposting what they saw on CNN or whatever it is. Most people are all about hearsay. I can go on and on about this. The point is you're exposed to a lot of stupidity. And then the worst thing you can do is sit down there and start to discuss these things with these people. Attempt to criticize or argue with people. I'm drinking some delicious loose leaf black tea right here, imported from India. Buy the kilo from my local international market for about $5 a kilo. Some high quality black tea. Anyways, I think it's actually Turkish black tea that I'm drinking. Anyway, so I just realized it's a huge time waster. And, there were points in my life where I would spend hours and hours of my time debating with people. And you get to, you should, if you really care about yourself, get to a point where you realize, every 12-year-old any 12-year-old in the world now, except for China, I guess, can obtain a computer or a smartphone and post comments in the YouTube comment section. Or, you know, I don't know, make a fake account on Facebook and troll people and post comments. You know, you could be talking to, you know, mentally insane people. You'd be talking to, you know, I don't know, people addicted to meth. Like, you could be literally talking to anybody, okay, on the internet. And then to get worked up over, you know, people's comments and things, and to get really involved in the discussion with somebody that, you know, shows signs of mental illness. I mean, it just makes no sense, because you're not even having a productive conversation between the two of you. And beyond that, it's not benefiting you in any way other than you're following your emotions. It's just you could be spending your time on so much better things. You'd be filling your brain and your body with positive emotions and constructive ideas. You could be taking action towards your goals, but instead you're sitting there, you know, letting these random people distract you. And then beyond that is you could argue or debate with, you know, one person on the internet, but there's millions and millions of people that are going to trigger you into a debate on the internet. Like, are you really going to debate with everybody that you see on the internet? Like, it makes no sense. But I see a lot of people doing this, and I was guilty of doing this myself for quite a long time. For me, it's like it's crazy. It's almost like an addiction. It's like you see a stupid comment and you just try really hard not to reply to it, but you can't help it. You've got to debunk the bullshit, and it just ruins your day. It doesn't ruin your day, but it kind of does, like, ruin your life, because that literally is like, you know, 15, 20, maybe, you know, minutes, or maybe even an hour that you're never going to get back. Like, it's just crazy. And most people say, oh, you know, it doesn't take more than like a minute to reply to a Facebook comment. You know, it's not that big of a deal, but like, it kind of is. Like, you know, it takes a whole lot more time than that. And really, if you're replying to somebody's comment, that means you care about it. Because if you didn't care about something, you wouldn't even spend energy on it, and that's the truth. So to care about all these, like, things, no matter how much time you're spending on it, it just shows, like, what your brain is actually focused on and what's important to you in your life. Because importance is entirely based on what you're focused on. If you're focusing on something at any point in time, that means it's important to you to some extent. And so, you know, what I realized is that it's a huge waste of time, you know, scrolling through the Facebook news feed and paying attention to things that only bring you stress, you know. Facebook is a huge source of that. So for the last 2 weeks of me being without Facebook, I have definitely been without a lot of the stress that Facebook was causing me for a long time. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. You know, there's many other things I could talk about, but these are the big ones, you know. There's also the fake persona people use on Facebook, you know, the false self or the pseudo self. People try to pretend to be something they're not. There's, you know, some people are susceptible to comparing themselves to others, so they think everyone else's life is perfect because they're always posting pictures of them smiling with their friends and things, and that can be discouraging for some people. These aren't problems that I really have, but, you know, trying to convince other people of things through Facebook statuses, and then, like, also, like, validation, like checking your notifications all the time, and if you don't get likes on a picture, it can really fuck with you, I guess, like, for some people. But, you know, the point I'm trying to get at is there is a lot of, you know, damage that is done by using Facebook in the wrong way. So, with being without Facebook has freed up a lot of time. I have hours and hours of time on my hands I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I think for most people, this would be the case. Like, most people, they're so, you know, they always talk about how they don't have enough time and this and that. But the real truth is that it's not that you don't have enough time, it's that you have time that you don't use wisely. You know, if you're spending 15, 20 minutes on Facebook even, that's 15 or 20 minutes you could have spent, you know, walking out in the sunlight to exercise, or 15, 20 minutes you could have spent creating a video like this to post up on YouTube to help inspire other people with your thoughts, you know. There's so much better things you could be doing with 15, 20 minutes of your life that, you know, besides like arguing with people that you're never going to meet in your life and don't really matter. So, or whatever it is on Facebook. But the biggest problem though is that, you know, when you remove pornography and when you remove Facebook from your life and these dumb arguments and things, you're left with so much more time that you thought never existed. And suddenly you realize, holy shit, like, you know, I work, you know, 8 to 12 hours a day. I have kids and I have a wife or whatever. But wow, like, I suddenly have 2 extra hours of time on my hands. What the fuck? You know, wow. It's like, yeah, you've always had this time. You just never knew it because you had Facebook and all this bullshit clouding it. And now your brain works better. So, the addiction to Facebook starts to set in, and the urges will come for Facebook just like they would pornography, only if you don't fill this extra time with meaningful activities, okay? People have the motivation to get on Facebook. They don't need motivation to get on Facebook. They don't need motivation to get on pornography, because those are just addictive habits they had. It's not about motivation. The same is true for what you fill your time with, okay? Those things don't even mean anything to you. They bring no meaning to your life. But, you know, creating content for other people, you know, participating in activities throughout the day that make you feel alive, and actually striving for better achievement and working on building up your skills in life. These are things that are going to bring you meaning. These are things that will take up that time easily, and you won't have any problem with it. And after a couple months of doing this, it's natural. It's all about the skills. They become just as easy as Facebook used to be or pornography used to be. So, I mean, changing your habits is the big thing. Instead of watching Facebook, replace that habit with, you know, art of some kind or science. I read scientific literature. I watch videos of these supposed health gurus who quote, you know, scientific literature, and I actually go through and find the studies, which most people don't link. I actually look for the studies and I find them and try to poke holes in those, and I try to develop my understanding of health and nutrition and science and build my skills and work towards achievement, okay? And this is what human beings are meant to do. If you never would have even been introduced to MySpace or Facebook or pornography, if you were, you know, an intelligent, a more intelligent human being, okay, more on the intelligent side of humanity, you probably would have naturally started to develop more creative activities in your life. I think a lot of people are just hopeless and they're just naturally like dull and zombie-like. But I think there's a large amount of people that just go insane when they're not achieving things. You know, with all of this stuff in mind, it's no wonder why most people are, you know, they lack motivation, they lack time, they don't feel like doing anything. And that's another thing, is that the dopamine side effects. You know, Facebook, it hijacks your dopamine the same way that pornography does. Because Facebook is essentially replacing your brain's social life. Your brain registers all these people on Facebook as legitimate friends and acquaintances, and they start to matter to you. And so instead of, you know, going out and talking to people, because you get this natural urge, this sadness and depression inside of you, where you feel lonely, that's there for a reason. It's to motivate you to do what human beings are meant to do biologically, to go out and talk to other people, you know, wherever. And so being away from Facebook means that you have nothing to take your social life's place anymore. Facebook is no longer clouding your social brain, and now you're like empty, and you have to go and fill your cup, You know, you have to fulfill that spot of your social life by going out and talking to other people. So, you know, but most people are, you know, they claim to have depression and this and that, and they think it's a chemical imbalance in their brain. They fail to realize the chemical imbalance is a natural occurrence that happens in humans to motivate them towards the reward. Okay, if you go without food for a while, your dopamine is supposed to heighten to make you chase food. Then once you get a lot of food, your dopamine lowers and prolactin is released, which makes you want to stop. Same thing with masturbation and sex. So, you know, pornography and Facebook dulls your dopamine, and it clouds your social mind, your sexual mind, and your romantic mind, and it you know, takes the place of these, you know, simple things, you know, going out talking to people and whatnot. And so, you know, people using Facebook oftentimes, I always used to see statuses about people complaining about their problems all the time, but never do anything about it. This is another thing. People always complaining, like, well, I'm lonely, I'm bored, like, I have social anxiety, you know, social anxiety disorder, depression. You know, I dealt with all of these things for periods of my life, but the difference between me and them is, you know, I solve my problems. You know, if I have a problem, I research it, I look at, you know, what am I doing wrong, and then I try to correct it. Everybody else, they have their problems, and they're always complaining, they're always mentioning it, and they never actually go out and try to change it. So, you know, it's no wonder that people have social anxiety and depression and feel lonely and are bored when they're always on Facebook. And it's so much worse than people make it out to be. People, oh, I don't use Facebook that much. You know, I just, you know, scroll here and there. It's like every hour of the day they post this status, you know, like, come on, you're not fooling me. You know, or they're like, you know, oh, you know, Facebook isn't really that bad, you know, you're exaggerating. Like, no, actually I'm not. You know, Facebook executives have come out and admitted this. Scientists have actually shown evidence and proved this. You know, and then you can kind of just observe and see it for yourself. But if you're addicted, you're addicted, you know what I mean? And people want to hear good things about their bad habits, and they don't want to hear the truth behind things. They don't want to hear they're doing things wrong. So, you know, I try to cram as much information in there as possible. But basically, 2 weeks straight for the past 2 weeks, I've been without Facebook. And in the last month, this would be about 3 weeks in 1 month where I just had no Facebook. So I'm gonna you know, keep up with this experiment. I'm going to come back with the different realizations I found and whatnot. I can tell you I do have urges to post on Facebook because I want to stay connected with people. I want to motivate people, but I suppose I need to find other means. And I've been posting more on Instagram more often. So for those of you who don't know, I have an Instagram. It is Wolfgang is God on Facebook. And, you know, I post a lot of my meals on there. I post my training. And basically my other life most people probably don't know that I have, which is martial arts and, you know, powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting, you know. And you'll also see that, you know, you don't have to be, you know, an extremely strict eater to remain disease-free, stay healthy, and stay away from sickness year-round. You don't have to be perfect. The majority of the stuff I have on there is probably like sushi, like good quality sushi. Basically just rice and raw fish, essentially. But I see those foods as valuable nutrition and very beneficial. And you know, I eat to feel at my best. I eat to you know, give me more benefit and not to harm me, as long as it doesn't cause any harm. Everything I eat is 100% just fuels me. It just makes me feel great. And I track my nutrition also. Everything that I eat, I have a little tracker that measures the amount of micronutrients in it. So I see how much vitamin A, vitamin C, and I make sure that I'm hitting all of my daily recommended amounts of vitamins. and minerals, of course, magnesium, calcium, selenium. And beyond that, I take tonic herbs daily. So I have a lot of practices I do. I should probably go through with my daily routine and kind of just like take people through it so they can see what I do. But judging from my Instagram, I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised at the type of meals that I have. But essentially, you just got to understand what you're really aiming for. What is health exactly? A lot of people, they go overboard and want to become one with the spiritual realm, rather than just have a practical approach to living your best life and feeling your best physically, mentally, and energetically. And that's what I'm aiming for. But yeah, I actually have a vlogging channel as well. So I've been kind of considering maybe posting vlogs on this channel or not. But I do have another vlogging channel. So if you want to subscribe to that, let me know and I'll link you to it. And I might make a video on that in the future. The other channel basically has all my clips from weight training and stuff like that, and my Instagram does too. So anyway, fuck all that shit. So yeah, leave your questions, comments down below. Let me know if you've ever done no Facebook, and I'll talk to you soon.